Good evening and welcome into a brand new season of Thursday Sportszone. I'm Justin Ballou, your host for the brand new season. UNT football season is in full swing as our Mean Green return home this weekend to begin a pivotal run in Conference USA play. Here to break it all down and preview this weekend's game against FAU, we have analysts Drew Maurer and Tyler Luker. So guys, before we take a look at this FAU game, let's go back to last weekend when the Mean Green dropped yet another game, 44-34 on the road at Memphis. Let me get your thoughts on this loss.
Man, it was tough. You think back, you immediately think to the pick sixes by Austin Ani here. It wasn't ideal. You can't have that. And for Ani being fifth in the FBS in passing yards with 1,316 yards, that's crazy, guys. Just let me say that is a shocker. But with him being that good in the air, throwing pick sixes is not. I mean, you can't have that. So the communication has to be better with the receivers. It was a drop that was bobbled and taken for six. So got to be better with the communication, but also defensively, got to be better.
Yeah, both those pick sixes very costly in that second half.
Costly,
both
yeah,
of them put Memphis up by a touchdown too.
Yes.
when Mean Green were coming back. So Tyler, what were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, anything like that's going to kill a comeback that you're trying to have.
For sure.
They entered the fourth quarter down 7. They really couldn't convert on third down the whole game. They were 3 for 15. And then defensively, those guys are really tired because the offense can't stay on the field.
Right. Yeah, so you guys both mentioned the problems with the defense. Obviously now in all of their losses this season, the defense has allowed 44 or more points. And obviously there's a caveat to that Austin Ani threw the 2 pick sixes last week. But what is wrong with this defense? And now as we get into this stretch run in conference play, what has to change?
I think, we come out into cover 2 zone every single time I watch highlights or if I'm at the game. We always come out into cover 2 zone because you can't have that. You're getting beat over the top every time because teams exploit that. And if you're running the same defense, you got to switch it up. I mean, you got to run some man coverage. You know these corners can keep up. But even on that, turnovers are not happening for this team. I mean, they're only forcing 1 turnover per game while they're giving 2 turnovers, so the differential is -1.
Right.
Just got to be you got to be forcing fumbles. You got to be going up for the ball and getting those interceptions because and that comes with man coverage.
And I think the most frustrating part about this defense is there's talent all over this defense. Katie Davis, the secondary is has some pretty solid players, but they haven't played well. So Tyler, what's going wrong and what has to change defensively?
Well, I think they really need to have some consistency and everybody to step up all at once. This whole season, you have the front 7 usually been their best on the defense, but then last year they struggled. The secondary stepped up. You need those guys to kind of come together and work as a unit.
So UNT now 2-3 on the season, obviously still 1-0 in conference play, so still holding on to first place in Conference USA. But what is the state of this team now heading into 7 straight conference games, obviously starting with FAU this weekend?
I mean, got to make those tweaks that I was talking about. Got to tweak the defense, and then obviously got to get that communication better with the receivers if you're Ani. Looking ahead, you got a lot of good offenses coming up, especially FAU. I mean, they've got a pretty balanced attack. So looking at that, the defense just has to step up. And so does Ani. I mean, you just gotta get your head in the game and make sure you're doing the things you need to do.
And one of the things we've also seen and talked about is the inconsistent play calling and the predictable play calling and just the inconsistencies all over defense, offense, everything. Tyler, this all comes back to coaching. So we've talked about for seasons now, it seems like Seth Luttrell's seat and his job and the future there. So how hot is that seat now, and what should Seth do now going into conference play?
Well, I think it's a red hot seat.
Yeah, his pants are on fire.
Yeah, I mean, going forward, they're 2-3 right now. If they start to go 2-4, 2-5, 2-6, I see no chance he's coming back, and maybe they should make a change mid-season, but I think they'll see it through. But he just has such predictable play calling, and they can't score in the red zone. They're 12 for 24 for touchdowns in the red zone. They just can't finish drives, and I don't think he's the answer, really.
Well, that has been, certainly the talk around town for the past 2 seasons now. The talk around town this week is some good news because look at these helmets, these beautiful helmets that UNT is going to be wearing this weekend against FAU. Black helmets for one of the first times ever in Mean Green history, complete with the State of Texas logo and the Mean Green logo in the center with the players' numbers on the opposite side, sort of Pittsburgh Steelers X there. So love that, black helmet, green jerseys, black pants. Give me a key to the game to getting a win in these beautiful helmets this weekend, guys.
Well, key to the game, like I said, is keeping that FAU's balanced attack, keeping them back. I mean, the defense has got to be more on edge. They've got to be more prepared. And one of my problems with Luttrell is that he doesn't make changes. He doesn't make tweaks defensively or offensively. Coach Bennett, I know he leaves it to Coach Bennett a lot of times, but just got to make those changes. And if you do make those changes, UNT's got a good shot.
Tyler, give me a quick key to the game.
On both sides of the ball, third down is the key. On offense, they need to start converting on third down because that was their struggle last week. And then on defense, they're facing a team that's real good on third down. They convert 48% of their attempts. They really need to stop them on third down.
Well, certainly lots to tweak on the UNT side of things, but they're going to have some beautiful uniforms and helmets to look forward to in this one. Catch UNT and FAU Saturday at 3 o'clock from Apogee Stadium on ESPN+. Stay with us. We're going to talk some Dallas Cowboys football coming up next.
Somos papichulo, recuerden, don't mess with Texas, y'all.
Touchdown!
Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored?
Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No, I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
But I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Dear humans, this is an adoption campaign, but it's not for me, or Mr. Buttons, or Frank over there. It's for you, humans. This is a call to humans to adopt our movement, to adopt our cause.
This isn't just about saving one of us.
It's about saving all of us.
Thousands of lives, every single day.
It's about support for every one of us four, and sometimes not four-legged best friends, waiting to meet a best friend of our own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge.
Shelter by shelter.
City by city. We can save thousands of pets each day. Join us. Together we can save them all.
Welcome back into Sportszone. Well, here in North Texas, the Dallas Cowboys season has taken a complete turn for the better the last 2 weeks after 2 straight weeks of gritty winning football. This weekend, the Cowboys will welcome in the Washington Commanders for a battle in AT&T Stadium. Here to preview this weekend's matchup, we have Brendan O'Donnell and Caleb Blanton. Now, guys, before we get into this weekend's game, let's flip the page back to that epic Monday night win over the New York Giants. That was kind of an ugly game in the first half, but those offenses really woke up and put up some fireworks in the second half. What were your thoughts on that win?
It was great to see Cooper Rush play as well as he did. Now, I don't want to hear anything about quarterback controversy in any way. Dak is getting the starting job when he comes back. This is just to stir up some media. This is what Jerry Jones does every single year. But Cooper Rush, he was given full control of the offense. And there was one play, it was 3rd and 12, and he audibled out of a throw and switched it to a pitch to Zeke. Zeke took it to the outside, ended up getting a 21-yard run on that play. And that's one of the things that you don't see most backups doing because they're not that prepared and they don't know the system that well. But that's one great thing with Cooper Rush is he has full control over this offense, knows its ins and outs, and knows where his receivers are going to be at the right time, knows what defenses there are. He's a very smart QB, and I love having him right now as the backup quarterback.
Yeah, that was certainly an impressive performance from Cooper Rush in that game. His stat line was 21 of 31 for 215 yards and a touchdown. Took care of the ball, obviously no interceptions, which was always very important for the Cowboys. Caleb, what did you think of Cooper Rush's performance in that game against the Giants?
Yeah, I thought he played pretty well. I mean, he made some really solid throws. He did what he was supposed to do. He won the game, and on that touchdown pass to CD, he put it at the perfect spot, and it was a great throw.
Yeah, CD had some beautiful catches in that game as well. But Brendan, you mentioned the run game and Cooper Rush audibling to some runs. The run game really was on full display in this game. Pollard rushed for 105 yards, Zeke 73 yards and a touchdown. That was really the first game this season I think this run game has popped. So how impressive was that to see, and how can they build on this moving forward?
It was good to finally see it come to fruition. I mean, our offensive line, after getting the Tyron Smith injury, it just seemed like it was lost. We didn't know what we were going to do those first 2 games. But Tyler Smith is putting it together at the left tackle, and we just got Jason Peters getting plugged in as well. We're starting to actually get some push. There's some actual time that these running backs can get their vision and see where they want to go. Tony Pollard has the explosiveness to just burst out and run for 40 yards like he did the other day. But when the line just closes up and there's no holes to go through and he gets swallowed up, he's not strong enough to push through that. Zeke can a little bit, but that means you're getting 2 to 3 yards every play. You're not getting the first down. So I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. We're actually getting open holes with this offensive line. I just want to see that continue as we move on.
What have you thought, Caleb, of the run game?
Yeah, it was good this last game. That's what they need to continue to do is what they did this past game. I mean, those backs are really special. You just got to give them holes and give them the ball, and that's what we need from them for the rest of the season. We just need to constantly give them the ball because, I mean, they're the spark that this offense needs.
So Brendan says no quarterback competition, but there may be some running back one competition there because Tony Pollard, I mean, he is a very solid 1B back. He's not even a number 2 back. He's a 1B back. Let's talk about this defense, though, because Micah Parsons, I mean, that dude is insane. And, you know, obviously Trayvon Diggs is playing great in the secondary. Is this Cowboys defense the best in the entire league?
I want to give it at least top 3. I want to say so bad it's the best defense. I want to so badly. But, man, it's the Tampa Bay defense is looking really nice right now. I mean, they shut out us basically week 1 with only 3 points. They put Aaron Rodgers only to 14 points as well. Like, they are looking cold right now. They are just stopping everybody. But I think as the season goes on, Cowboys can definitely be there. We're in the top 10 right now for points per game, and we're looking good with our sacks, leading the league right now. But I don't think we're quite there to be the number 1. We're getting there. We're close. I'm hopeful. I think by the end of the season, you come back to me, I'm going to say number 1.
What do you think, Caleb?
You know, I'm going to give it to them right now, just the way they're constantly getting pressure. They're getting sacks like crazy. They're not allowing that many points. Like you said, they're in top 10 in that. And they've been doing a good job. And so I just think that they can continue that for sure. And, yeah.
Well, they definitely wouldn't have won these last 2 games without the performance out of that defense. I can guarantee you that much. So now as they welcome in the Commanders this weekend, give me some keys to the game. Obviously, the defense is going to be a key to the game with Cooper Rush still at quarterback, but give me some keys to winning this game against the Commanders.
I'll go and start with Carson Wentz is just the biggest deer in headlights quarterback that there ever is. He fumbles anytime you start getting pressure on him, getting the sacks on him. So one of my biggest keys is just pressure Carson Wentz. He's a momentum quarterback. If he gets comfortable in the pocket, he's got the arm. He has the talent to make the throws. But whenever you put pressure on him, he gets a little scared. He starts looking around where to go. His footwork isn't as great. So I'm looking for that pressure there, as well as we need to win that turnover differential. We do not have the offense right now to come back. And Carson Wentz and the rest of the Commanders team with Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, they're good enough to actually get points against our defense. I don't know how many, probably not more than 20, but if we fall behind quickly 14-0, they're going to be able to run the clock out against us. I don't think the Cowboys can come back from that. So if we're giving out turnovers, then they're getting points easy. We can't do that. And the last one, it's Turpin time. Finally, after 2 touchdowns in the preseason against the Chargers and an MVP season for the USFL, Kayvon Turpin this week will get a return touchdown. More of a hot take than a key to the game, but I believe it. I'm going to come back next week and you'll see.
Well, certainly some good keys there. So we'll see how this one turns out. It's Sunday noon, Washington, Dallas on Fox. Make sure to tune into that one. Coming up next, we will overreact to what we've seen so far in the NFL. Stay with us.
Making is in essence telling a story. Every time I make something, I'm telling a story. When a kid gets their hands on the world and learns that they can make their fantasy play, that they can make their reality, that's power. As far as I'm concerned, everyone should feel that kind of power. So if there's something that interests you, go figure out how to do it. Go tell your own story. There it is. I want to know why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Dad, 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Make-A-Wish grants a wish every 17 minutes. I know that sounds pretty magical, but in fact, it takes more than magic. It takes muscle. So, when a kid like Fabian wishes to be a superstar, things happen. Whoa! Or when Kahim transforms into Super Kahim. He feels invincible. It's because wishes have proven physical and emotional benefits that can give children with critical illnesses a higher chance of survival.
Help us make sure every wish comes true. Join us at wish.org.
Welcome back into Sportszone. Well, one of our favorite things to do here on the show is overreact to everything we see across the sports world. So today we are overreacting to all of the NFL action that we've seen through the first 3 weeks of the season. Here to give us some hot takes, we have analysts Matthew Wagner and Mackenzie Freeman. Matthew, kick us off. What do you got for us? I know you guys got some Cowboys takes, so I want to hit those first. So Matthew, what's your Cowboys overreaction?
Okay, so this is a big overreaction, but from what I've seen in the sample size, I'm confident Cooper Rush can lead the Dallas Cowboys to an NFC Championship game. And I'm sure anyone that's watching this is probably laughing their heads off right now, but I honestly believe that because from what I've seen, it was mentioned, in the last show here, he did great. He threw perfectly almost, and he showed that he can take charge of this offense better than Dak Prescott can.
Now, the one problem I have with this take is that Dak Prescott is going to be back next week. So I don't, if Cooper Rush leads them to, an undefeated stint in when he plays, I think that's one thing. But NFC Championship game might quite be bit of an overreaction there. Mackenzie, what do you have for us?
I think that's a problem with that hot take. Jerry Jones isn't going to let Dak Prescott sit on the sidelines. As soon as he's healthy, he's back in there.
Which could be next week, by the way.
Could be, but I'm thinking a couple more weeks before that happens. I will say, kind of like what he's saying, I do like Rush. I think, what we saw Dak do in that first game, his completion rate wasn't even over 50%. He was not utilizing the offense. Cooper Rush is utilizing everybody. Pollard got the ball, Zeke got the ball, Noah Brown got the ball, CeeDee Lamb got the ball. So I think Cooper Rush is the answer for the Cowboys.
Wow.
That's my hot take.
She is siding with Jerry Jones here and riding out with a QB battle. I love it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matthew?
Definitely feed into that narrative. My thing is, yes, Prescott's coming back. The second he starts slipping up or he starts making mistakes, why not put Cooper Rush back in there? He's undefeated right now. Put him back in.
Fair point.
I would.
Can't argue with that. And keep in mind, Cooper Rush is still 3-0 with the Cowboys.
Exactly.
And Dak has lost some games. Cooper Rush has never lost with the Cowboys. So numbers don't lie. Matthew, what's your next overreaction?
Okay, so this one, another one, me being a heathen Vikings fan, sadly. I think Kirk Cousins can lead the Vikings to a Super Bowl, and as you can tell, my disdain when I said that. Because, yes, there's a lot of turnover in the Vikings organization, but I love Kevin O'Connell. I love him as a head coach. Look what he did with the Rams. He led them to a Super Bowl. So I think with him and Kirk and Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, they could definitely make a run for this and make a shot. The defense got improved, but other than that, they can definitely improve.
Well, I think Kirk Cousins is pretty much like, if you pictured an average quarterback, you would picture Kirk Cousins. But he does have, like you mentioned, one of the best receiving cores in the entire league. So could see some of that panning out. What do you think of that take, Mackenzie?
I think kind of what you said, he's a very mid quarterback. If you look at some of the QBs that won the last 2 Super Bowls, his stats don't even compete with it. Stafford's stats and Patrick Mahomes' stats blow his through the roof. So that's super far-fetched.
Yeah. Hopefully we get Lamar Jackson, though. That's all I can hope for.
Oh, boy.
Hopefully we can get him.
Mackenzie, what's your next one?
I think the Dolphins may have a run for the Super Bowl. I think their offense, they're competing against the Bills' offense, the Ravens' offense. The only thing that may stop them is their defense. Their defense is still allowing, they let 38 points happen from the Ravens, and they let 19 points by the Bills. And I think the Bills just couldn't close out that game. So
Dolphins to the Super Bowl. Well, they play tonight against the Bengals, too, so that'll be a good one to watch.
This is going to be a test, right? Because you saw the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl last year. So if they can beat the Bengals, I think your theory gets definitely stronger and stronger as we go on the season.
And the Dolphins, one of the only remaining teams with the Eagles, the undefeated teams, 3-0. So
I'm thinking they're going 13-4 this year. That's my predictions for the season.
I like that. My only concern is Tua, because you saw last game he got a concussion. Clearly he was,
They said it was a back, but it looked like he banged his head. So
did you see
I don't
when
know
he
if we're
got
getting
up?
the
his
correct
legs
injury report here.
when his legs went turned to jello, and so the NFL is investigating that to see if he was brought into it late, but we'll see.
But how about Mike McDaniel? I mean, this guy is the most fun head coach in the entire league. He's got sort of like a nerdy vibe to him, but the players love it because he's like such a people person. So the Dolphins certainly a lot of fun. We'll see how that one pans out tonight. Matthew, you got one more for us. What you got?
Yeah, my guess is Jalen Hurts. I think he'll definitely be a top MVP candidate. And the way he's been playing like it. And, does that mean MVP for the entire league? Probably not, but definitely for the NFC, I can definitely see him being the MVP because, I mean, his passing yards is so big right now. And I love watching him every day in, day out. Even though I'm a Viking fan, I still like watching him.
Well, the Eagles are rolling, too.
Yeah, he had an 83% completion rate against your home team. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, there you go. That just proves.
But he's got A.J. Brown now. He's got a good offensive line, good defense, pretty solid run game. It's not quite where they want it yet, but Eagles are a force to be reckoned with.
We saw in the beginning of the season, we've talked about it. We said that maybe, him coming in as a new quarterback, he might not adjust the league. He's adjusted very well so far.
And this was a prove-it year for him, too. So the fact that you have him in MVP conversations, which I think is pretty valid, given that they're 3-0 and he's playing well, is obviously a big step for them, and great moves with that head coach Nick Sirianni there. What's your next take, Mackenzie?
I think the Jaguars win the AFC South. I think, the Colts, can't count them out, but the Titans and the Texans right now, I just don't think they look promising. The Jaguars have a solid defense. Their linebacker core is amazing. I think they're going to have a few losses here and there, but I think overall they win that conference.
And they've got first-round picks all over their defense. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, a pretty good receiving core. Matthew, what do you think of that take?
I like it. The only thing is, Trevor Lawrence himself, it's going to rely on him, right? He gets injured. I don't think they win the conference. The only thing is, when you watch Trevor Lawrence, he couldn't motivate me to go get a sandwich. If you were watching, I mean, he's so
monotone. That is true. His pep talks are not very good.
Yeah, no.
But this AFC South is wide open, though, because, you have the Texans, obviously probably going to finish last. The Colts lost to the Jaguars and tied the Texans and then beat the Chiefs, so who knows what's going on there. And the Titans struggled their first two games, started 0-2, so I like that take. And the Jaguars just beat the Chargers with a banged-up Justin Herbert, but still a good win there. I kind of like.
Yeah, they don't ask how, they ask how many. So I cannot wait to see the rest of the season play out for them.
Well, make sure to tune into Dolphins-Bengals tonight, a great Thursday night matchup. Coming up next, we'll talk some UNT volleyball. Stay with us.
Texans always get the job done, especially when we work together. As we safely open up our state, we need to unite as one Texas to contain COVID-19 and to get Texans back to work. If you go out in public, stay 6 feet apart from others. Wear a face covering and wash your hands regularly. Be a good neighbor. Be a Texan. Together, we're going to make our way through this.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back into Sportszone. I'm your host, Justin Ballou. Well, football isn't the only sport going on here at the University of North Texas. Volleyball is in full swing more than halfway through the season now. Here to break it all down and preview what's ahead for the UNT volleyball team, we have Nicholas O'Gelly and Fazan Amer. Now, guys, the story coming into this volleyball season with this team was all of the new faces. You've got 6 freshmen, and obviously led by a new head coach in Christy Porter, who comes over from McNeese State. So my first question for you guys is, how has this team come together, and what have you seen chemistry-wise from this group so far?
So I think it's important to understand that UNT has just 6 players returning from a team that in the past year finished 15-12. And it's those players that head coach Porter brought in during the offseason that have played a vital role in leading this team into what it's becoming. The transfer from Texas A&M, Triana Rush, is kills per set, while sophomore Aaron Johnson is averaging 2.79. Both players have played an instrumental role into what this team is becoming under head coach Christy Porter.
What have you seen so far, Nick?
I'm not as optimistic as my guy over here, but
Nice tie. I like the tie.
Thank you.
Look good. Look good. I feel like I'm good too. You look.
I'm
good.
underdressed.
Yeah. No, you're good. But surprisingly looking good is also us. I just don't know about the youth we have and everything like that, and the new head coach from a place that I didn't know existed until a couple hours ago. Yes, Magnesia is an interesting place. However, they did beat us last year. I have to give them that. It was a close game, 3-2. But we look surprisingly good, and we got some newfound height on that roster too. Six out of the freshmen just that we got 6'1", 6'2", 5'11". That's
and a team of freshmen means that the head coach and the coaching staff recruited pretty well this offseason. So love to see that. So UNT, the state of this team right now, 8-9 overall, 2-0 in conference play. Obviously, conference play the rest of the way now from this point. So what are the expectations now as we get into the stretch run of conference play with number 22 in the country, Rice, by the way, coming in tomorrow night? What are your expectations for the rest of the season, and can we win Conference USA?
So UNT opened a league play with a 2-match swing in Florida and cruised to 3-0 wins in both consecutive Florida games. So those performances pushed UNT to the top of the CUSA standings, which creates an interesting showdown with Rice, where they will be battle-tested in an uphill battle. But I do believe with them clicking on all cylinders as of late, as Michael Jordan quoted, the ceiling is the roof for this team.
What do you think moving forward, Nick?
I like what you said there. It's very nice. Very nice. But this is, are we ranked?
We're not.
We're not. That's what I thought. Let's keep it simple. This is an L. We're walking into a wall right here. This is a Rice number 22, I believe. Yeah, they look very good. We look just all right, and they also have more experience.
You're saying we look just all right, but you got to understand, in the past 3 games, we've outscored our opponents 9-1.
Right.
So
but we're 8-9.
I understand that, but we've lost 6 players. We have freshmen coming in. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle going into the season. The ship, however, is still staying afloat despite an 8-9 record. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And the way it's playing out to where I want to see how it does play out, because as of late, we've been clicking on all cylinders. And this team, as the season has waned on, you can see the chemistry, you can feel the chemistry. It's becoming more acclimated, and it just feels better to watch that offense and defense.
Well, Fawzon's certainly optimistic about this UNT volleyball team as we move into this stretch run of conference play and this Rice game tomorrow night, number 22 in the country, coming into Denton. That's it for us here on Sportszone. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @NTTV_sports, and stay tuned for NTTV news coming up next.
What's this? Hey, open that. Oh.
Wait, what?
Hey.
Oh, did I not say? It's kitten season. Every spring, cats get busy. Too busy. Thousands of kittens end up in shelters who might not make it out alive because there isn't anyone to take care of them, even for a week. You were born to be a cool foster auntie. Kittens are way cuter than babies. No offense. You're a little dirty, but kittens don't judge. Foster a kitten, because it's harder to give a baby back.